previewing the round of 12. As Kevin mentioned, it's a unique round, very different racetracks as well. First up, we have the 1.5 miles of Kansas Speedway. Then we go to the Super Speedway of Talladega, close out the round at the Charlotte Roval, which has been in action for several years now. But the complexion of this round, like you said, it definitely is going to have its challenges for teams.
Well, I'm not going to make the mistake twice of underestimating a round. So
okay, so you saying now?
We have seen Kansas be crazy in the past with all kinds of things going on. I think going there, if you look at past history, Christopher Bell is going to have a chance to qualify in a pole. You're going to have to run up next to the fence from qualifying on through the race, but you're going to have a versatile car. You're going to have to be able to maneuver yourself through traffic. The 5 and the 11 are going to be fast. And, who else steps up? Mm-hmm. Where are those Fords on the 1.5 mile racetrack? Is Joey Logano able to compete like he has been on all the rest of these racetracks and show up? Is Austin Cindric going to be able to get off on the right foot on a 1.5 mile racetrack? Is William Byron going to show back up? I think for me, that's been the question mark with the performance is the 24 team.
At one point, he was asking Rudy Fugle, like, "Are we good?" Like he didn't even really know for certain if he was in a good points position to advance.
Yeah, and it's crazy when you get out of that, when you get out of rhythm. And those guys started the year off being in a rhythm to win races and overcome things throughout the day and maybe win some races over the last couple of years that they shouldn't win. And now they're out of rhythm. And it doesn't seem like they're able to put themselves in a position to where they can find the speed. And when you have a teammate like Kyle Larson, to be able to know that speed is there and you can't get that is frustrating. And I just haven't seen a lot out of the 24, and I actually have him on my list of being out after this round.
Oh, we're gonna get into that list in a minute.
Someone who else is dangerous, I think, who's actually hitting their stride a little bit is Alex Bowman in the 48 group.
Yeah,
the speed. It's a pole at Bristol. We don't have another track like Bristol, but it all matters. It means you're clicking and doing the right things and getting the car to feel the way that Alex needs it to go fast. Mm-hmm. And if he's able to do that and maybe grab some of that 5-car speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and look at everything he's kind of put to bed. Like I really thought that they did a great job with the PR on that side of the world to kind of defuse the whole going to a different car. And now that car is situated, all those questions are gone with mm-hmm. Justin Haley and Corey LaJoie swapping rides. So it's there's a lot that's been put to bed. But the biggest thing about that 48 team, qualified on the pole this week, have the results to go with it. And when you have the results to go with everything that you're doing on the racetrack, all the noise goes away.
It sure does. Yeah.
You know what's interesting though? You say that, but Brad Keselowski had an interesting quote with Bob, take with Bob.
Yeah,
and they were talking about the switch, and obviously he's in the middle of the 51 because that's part of their team, and he said something like along the lines of, "Well, we just couldn't compete with what Mr. H was bringing for opportunity and
for Justin
Haley, and we'll see what happens in 2026." Like he almost was like, it was weird because he was like almost spilling some tea, but he didn't really.
Not all the way.
He didn't spill it all the way, but he just like kind of stirred the pot a little bit because he looked a little frustrated in that.
It is frustrating when you get in those positions and you can't compete with the guy that you're competing against. And I think Hendrick puts people in that position a lot because they have the resources to pour into something when they want to make a change, right? Mm-hmm. And they can go out and make it happen. And, sometimes from a team owner standpoint, you got to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and make something happen, hoping that you get the results that go with it. And I think when you back up and you look at the Rick Ware situation and that being kind of embedded into the RFK shop and scenario, I just wonder if adding that car into the mix this year is some of the reason for the inconsistency in performance. And, is there the workload that goes with all that? Has it spread their resources out more than what they were expecting? So I think there's those interesting dynamics that come with scenarios, but their speed has definitely not been what we expected it to be and been very hit or miss.
It's going to be a good weekend. So I have here who has the most momentum. Are you saying Larson is the guy on that one?
Has to be. Yeah. I think, are we picking? Is that what we're doing?
No,
we don't have to pick. Well, we're going to pick who we think is going to get eliminated.
Yeah. Well, I think the 5 with their past history and everything that they've done, momentum from this particular weekend, the fact that Kyle Larson's already sitting in the shop from our victory lap interview on Monday, they're focused. I think a lot of the teams are focused on Kansas to try to get this round off to a good start because it's the most they can control.
Yeah.
Out of a race weekend as we go forward.
Yeah, because you don't want to go to Talladega in a bad stitch.
That's terrible.
So we're picking our four out.
Well, I'm asking who you think has the most momentum going in first.
It's definitely it's definitely the 5.
Yeah,
has the most momentum. I think they are trying to take a hold of the playoff, the rest of this playoffs, and make sure they punch their ticket early into the next round and into Phoenix. So I think right now the playoffs run through the 5, and Kyle Larson and Cliff Daniels in that group. It's hard to see. The other ones are so close.
Yeah,
it is so close. Like when you look at those points and you see everything that goes with that bottom part of the grid, man.
Yeah,
it is going to be stressful from lap 1 in Kansas.
I wonder how the 45 of Tyler Reddick and that group handles the stress because they are very fast and have had a really great year.
Currently above the line,
currently above the line, plus 20. But you want to show the 5 that you're going to have to deal with us. You know what I mean? They've been back and forth all year on points. So.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Kansas and you talk about Tyler Reddick, I think that running that high groove and being able to do that, I think their cars fall in line with the Gibbs cars to have the speed. It's just going to come down to the mistakes. We saw Bubba Wallace ran good this week at Bristol, finished 3rd. Tyler didn't run as well. We did hear some intensity on the radio out of Billy and Tyler going back and forth when Tyler said, hey, make sure the 11 knows what I did for him there. And he's like, hey, man, I hope you didn't do anything for the 11, which he obviously already did.
Yeah.
Hope you didn't do anything for the 11, giving him points because now they were actually at a point where they were racing, could have been racing the 11 a lot closer than what they had. So don't worry about your boss. Go out and try to win the race and take care of your own business. You don't need to worry about more than you need to worry about at this point.
Right.
So those are teams we're confident in. This kind of goes together. Least confident and who we think is going to be eliminated.
Least confident for me is the 99. I think they've got to go to Kansas and put something together. He's a good road racer. I haven't seen the super speedway speed that I'd like to see out of the 99. So if they're going to be in the mix, they're going to have to minimize the damage at Kansas. They're going to have to go to Talladega and make a decent day out of it and then be pretty good at the Roval. But that's going to be tough to do. So for me, it's the 99, the 24, the 14, and the 9.
Okay. Oh, put the 9 in there.
Yeah, I put the 9 in there. They did good at Bristol. I just think that you're going to have to make some noise and you're going to have to show that you're a contender leading laps and running up front as you get closer to the round of 8 and the round of 4. They've run okay.
Yeah.
They've been decent, but they just haven't shown that speed that the 5 has to be able to do it. Bristol wound up being a pretty good day for them because they hung out and qualified well. And put themselves in a position to have a decent day to get through the first round. So, I question the 24. I just don't know what's going to happen for the Fords at Kansas. That's why I put the 14 in there. I think that at some point that momentum runs out and reality sets in. So it's it was hard to pick because of Talladega and the Fords and knowing what they can do.
Yeah, looking at the points there, I think Hendrick, Joey Logano, they got to just, and not the 99 is Suarez, they got to hit singles. Like just keep the pressure on.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like you have a chance to go win, go do that. But you gotta
don't beat yourself.
You gotta keep the points gap really close. So as close as you can, so it puts pressure on everyone else in front of you that thinks that they're fast enough.
And when I was in this position before, and you were in this position where it's like, okay, I'm not really sure I can go win a race. How do I score as many points as possible?
Exactly.
And people will tell you, oh, we're here to win. There's some of you that can't win. And you need to start counting points. And you need to be able to, you need to know where you are.
Yeah,
right.
Wow.
Like if you're going to Kansas, if you're some of those Fords, you know that probably not going to win today. So how do I maximize my day and score points and don't make mistakes? You know that people are going to make mistakes. We've seen it. The 19, the 54. We saw the 11. I mean, you could almost name the whole field. Kyle Larson at Atlanta. So you know they're going to make mistakes. So just don't be that guy. And you can get away with that for one more round.
I think
One
this
more.
round, if last round I said was about execution, this round is about aggression.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
you got to be aggressive because the next round is about winning, period. Like the round of 8, you got to win to get in. That's the mentality I would have.
So one thing I've always found interesting about this time of year, and obviously I was never on a team, but like you have Hendrick that has 4, cars advancing. How much information sharing is taking place? Because it's starting to really matter. And then you have Stuart Haas, where it's just one guy in, so that kind of simplifies things, right? Because they can all focus on just chase.
Yeah.
What's that dynamic like?
Well, I think that the information, I mean, it stays open. The flow of information stays open. But I mean, there's a clear dominant car at Hendrick, and that's the 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you look at right now, I think the 48 was the second best car in the first round, and then the 9 and the 24. So, I think it's that information is always going to be there, and it's always going to flow, and everybody's always going to know what's going on, and the rest they just leave up to their drivers. There's just no way that you can take that away, until you get to maybe the last race. But even there, I think it's all the work that is done during the week is just different.
Yeah,
This points is the tightest it's ever been.
it's going to be interesting.
It's wide open. And
Yeah.
Wide open.
I'm loving every bit of it.
Hey, race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.